how's it going, YouTube? I wanted to focus today on my right hand techniques, and I've noticed that a lot of banjo players and bluegrass players in general, they tend to get stuck on one hand or the other. Mostly for the beginning, you tend to just focus on one hand for a long time, and then you start to realize that you're weak on the other. So I'm just going to touch base on just some that I've learned over the years, and some that I've of course find very handy, really good for like when you're in a spot in a jam and you're not quite sure what to do with the rhythm, or any certain roll pattern that you're doing just isn't working, you need to find something else. Or if you're recording and you're just like, this roll pattern just isn't working, how am I going to play that melody? The first one that I want to show is fairly basic, not really that easy, but it's fairly basic, and all you're doing is all I'm doing is just index, middle, thumb, and I'm going to each string and just index, middle, thumb, 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 index, middle, thumb. So pretty straightforward and just a very simple idea, but when you pull it off, it's like you can really do some cool stuff. A lot of Reno players, and even Bela Fleck talks about this, where you're just doing the index and the thumb, and you can get some good speed. But when you do all three, I mean, you're adding a whole other note to it, And if you can do the forward roll pretty fast, you could do that. You do that really easy. The second one that I wanted to do is kind of the same concept, where you're just doing the three fingers on one string, except instead of leaving that thumb there, you're going to have it travel to all the other strings. So when you're doing your chords, that's a really cool arpeggiated effect, but still has that speed going, What I like to do is when I'm holding, I call this the F shape, and you do that technique, all I'm doing is just walking my fingers to just up and down that chord shape. Really neat effect to it. When you switch chords too, it's pretty dramatic. Really neat arpeggiated one. I like to do this at the end of solos, so when you're doing it, has a cool finisher to it. It's a big, strong finisher. But this next technique is not a roll pattern. It is not a roll pattern. What it is a way that I strum. The way, it's not really something that you can mathematically figure out. It is something that you really have to feel. You can do those, those muted notes, and I'm palming it, so I'm just kind of resting my hand there. And what this enables you to do is so you can strum your chords. if you really want to push it, turn those chords into 7th chords. I remember when I first started developing that strum is I wanted to play the funk sound. I wanted to get that good funk sound, you know. And if you run it through a wah pedal and do those, you can kind of get that Parliament kind of sound. That's a great one. That one is fantastic. Let's say you're at a jam and all of a sudden somebody's doing not a bluegrass song, you know, and they expect you to just kind of... And they're like, well, we don't want you up here because that's all you're doing. And it's not your crowd. You can change their mind by going... You're getting some good rhythmic, kind of electric guitar rhythm type, you know? It's not your acoustic folk stuff or your bluegrass licky stuff. It's a total electric guitar type sound and feel. This last roll pattern, again, it's kind of a simple concept, and when I made it up, I was like, well, I really liked that, and I wanted to use that, but I wanted something bigger. So what I did is I added this to drone the D string here. And you get some good speed on it, you'll have this cool droning sound with this with the D string. If you play around with that D string, it has this really cool effect. Kind of a wrench for me to give that away because it's I actually have a song that I wrote around it, and it's just a neat, and all I'm doing is just that roll pattern. Super easy, super easy. Oh, and I did a 1-4-5 earlier. If you want to know how to do the 1-4-5 in a banjo, I have another video that you can check out, and I kind of break down how it works and the shapes and everything. You'll benefit from that a lot. Believe me, out in jams, it's priceless. If you like what I'm doing here, I also have other banjo videos that I've discovered weird and cool things that you can do on this wonderful instrument, and I have a playlist together, and I'm just going to keep adding to it. And so I suggest that you subscribe, and whenever I upload something, you'll get a notification, and you'll have a whole new arrow in your quiver if you. So if you stuck around, thanks so much, and if you liked it, hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you later.